The Rise of the Gen Z Personality, video by Kara Days. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but we're finna get into the video and see what's going on, because apparently Gen Z is losing personality and originality. Let's get into it.
I really hate this generation. I hate how no one has a mind or a personality of their own. Like, it's so rare to come across somebody who is just different.
Exactly, man, because I'm not even going to start off by saying because, but yeah, you are going to run into a lot of NPCs in this generation. And what I mean by NPC is people that are connected to the hive mind. Like, you can already tell how they're going to react to something. You can already tell what they're going to buy, how they're going to live, what they like and what they're not going to like. You can already tell because you see it everywhere online, on social media.
She's definitely right, and I agree with what she's saying. But let's just talk about the reason why things are the way that they are. The reason why everybody is quote unquote the same nowadays, and everybody is basically just piggybacking off of each other's personalities, is because y'all don't really like people who are different. Y'all swear, oh, nobody's different. I want to meet someone different.
That's not true. That's not a great explanation as to why the situation is what it is. This is just an outcome of what the situation has come to. People are all the same now, so they're obviously going to look down on people that are not the same as them. And what sparks a little bit of insecurity, a little insecurity flame deep down in their bones. This is just a result. This is not a cause.
No, you don't. When people are different, y'all bully the shit out of them. You talk down on them. When people walk different, talk different, dress different, act different, have different taste in music and food and style and culture, y'all literally belittle them. You break them down to it.
And why is that? The question is, why is that? You're just listing off what happens when everybody becomes the same.
Nothingness.
This view is beautiful.
I know. By the way, got a little something for you, my lady.
Oh, a flower. See how you did that? Very demure. Very cutesy, very mindful.
Don't talk to me like that. Don't come around me with that cringe TikTok language. No, I'm not going to deal with that. No, stop.
I want you right now to get on your phone and open up TikTok, open up Instagram or Twitter, and take a look around. Do you notice that everything is the same? You're seeing a lot of the same trends. You're seeing a lot of people talking and doing the same things. You're even probably...
Nah, when I recently deleted those social medias off my phone, but when I did have them, I seen a lot of memes. That's all I was seeing. Just funny videos and shit. Reaction videos and shit. I didn't see none of this. I didn't see none of these get ready with me's and all that other bullshit. It's not bullshit, but I didn't see all these other things because that's just not my forte when it comes to content.
Seeing a lot of the same exact aesthetics that are being pushed on your FYP. This is all we're consuming. You'll see perfect skin, pastel aesthetics, aligned captions, but honestly, where are all the quirks? Where's the weirdness? The traits that make someone, I don't know, like, the traits that make somebody you. The traits that are relatable. And I'm not talking about forced weirdness or people who are trying to be eclectic and they're trying to look a certain way, but just genuinely, you just see a bunch of consistent personality quirks that people have, and that's what's being pushed. Individuality. We don't see that. We just don't see that. In 2025, there's a growing whisper that Gen Z does not.
Does anybody, hold on,
that. In 2020.
Does anyone else feel like they have zero personality and are insanely boring to be around? That is insane. That's an insane epiphany to come to in being self-aware about yourself. I've never had that thought ever. Like, never thought that I had zero personality. I definitely don't relate to this or agree. I can't say agree because this is her speculation about herself and she's asking a question. But do y'all feel this way? Do y'all feel like y'all have no personality or that y'all are boring to be around? Or do y'all feel like y'all have a unique flair, a unique spark to your eyes, to your soul, to your spirit?
2025, there's a growing whisper that Gen Z does not have a personality anymore. And I'm here to ask, is that real? Or is it just a popular line that people are liking to use? What do you think? Before we even get into this video, what do you think? In this video, we are going to dig deep. We'll explore how social media...
Being afraid to be yourself is insane. That comment that just showed up that said they're afraid to be themselves, that is crazy.
Branding and cultural anxiety and economic pressures shape personality erasure. And we'll expose what used to be real and what's being lost. Let's get in the video. If you're new here, hi, my name is Caroline, your internet best.
I'm gonna have to skip this intro.
Opinionated and also of thought. Personality in psychology is the consistent pattern of thoughts, feelings, and behavior that distinguishes one person from another. We'll talk about big 5 traits: extroversion, agreeableness, consciousness, neuroticism, and openness.
And there's nothing wrong with having the same personality or a similar personality to somebody else. Just to let that be known, there's billions of people on the planet. You're going to run into somebody, or there's the possibility that you will run into somebody that shares personality traits that you have.
Say that right? Neuroticism? Yeah, I think that's right. But what does that look like in everyday life? The loud friend, the bitter one-liner, the unpredictable one who sings too loud. Those used to be the fun characters in any group. Like, I just think back at my childhood, and I mean, I'm considered a 90s baby, even though I was born at like the end of 99. Yeah. Honestly, I just feel like people in our generation like hear 99 and they're like, oh my gosh, like, you're ancient. The 90s? But literally, I'm just like, I just remember growing up before the age of social media, before Instagram, I don't even know if Facebook really came out at that point. Yeah, back when MySpace was still a thing. Like, I was a kid, of course, but I just remember that everyone got their personality from their lived experiences, and people were just who they were. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of, you couldn't just go out and see a lot of the same people. That's why it was so fascinating finding friends and finding groups of people that you connected with. I myself grew up as a directioner, and if you know, you know. And I just remember feeling so seen and heard when I found my fair share of girls and guys that enjoyed One Direction as much as me. And, these were the things that made people unique, made people, just individuals. And that was what was cool in high school. If somebody was like their own aesthetic, their own uniqueness, people, if they liked you or if somebody as an individual liked you, they admired you for that. They may have even tried to imitate or tried to like copy whatever you did. Back then that was a whole thing, like, oh, she's copying me. But like, that's where a lot of that mimicking of somebody you admire came from. Now fast forward to 2025 and nobody really seems to have a personality anymore. Historian Simon Schiama once said, history belongs to the strange, the eccentric, the unresting. Yet today, oddness is filtered out, even in the name of being on brand. And of course, you can never generalize something to everybody. And so when I say this, I use it very lightly in the way of, I'm not trying to say there's no individualness out there. You can definitely find individuals. You can find people who are doing very unique things. That's not the case. More so whenever I'm talking about Gen Z, we are seeing a continued pattern of children growing up and teens, preteens that are growing up and they're kind of mimicking their personalities off.
When someone is trying to get to know me, but I literally have no life, no hobbies, play no sports, barely have any friends, and just exist. Yeah, that is just the life of somebody who has never touched grass.
Of what they see on social media and off of what they see online, Hence why we get a lot of celebrities and men that get on social media and they're like, yeah, like they're talking about girls, right? And I mean, this is less to do about Gen Z and more to just do on an individual scope of just women who are praised a lot for their beauty and never really have to, I guess, form a personality, if we're just calling a spade a spade. And a lot of these men are now starting to see that for what it is. And some men don't mind that. They just want a pretty woman beside them. But I think men who do want a little bit more substance are now starting to put up more standards, I should say, for the type of woman they want. She can't just be pretty. Being pretty is just not enough anymore. She actually has to have a personality.
You know what's sad? A lot of women don't have their own personality. A lot of their personalities be borrowed from the women that they like on social media. That should be so sad. They really don't be cut like how they think they be cut. They just be following somebody else.
We should be the Lorax for Halloween. Every single year. I'm talking about in it. We should like hang around the weird kids and call them our besties. It would be so funny. We should be the Lorax for Halloween. 2-man season. 2-man season. Oh, I'm so messy. We should be the Lorax. 6'7". Guys, for Halloween, what if we were the Lorax? What do I nerd out about? Lululemon. We should be the Lorax for Halloween.
And that kind of goes into just regular society now. We're seeing a lot of children, hence why we see a lot of this, the Gen Z cashier, the Gen Z worker. I watch these TikToks all the time. They're satire, they're hilarious, but they have a lot of truth to them. Let's watch a couple of them right here.
Hi, I'm ready.
Oh, okay. What can I get started for you? Hi. Hello.
Are you ready to order?
Can I just get a bagel?
Okay. And what kind of bagel?
Oh, I don't know. What are your options?
Yeah, so we have blueberry, cinnamon, everything, Asiago, or plain.
Plain.
Okay.
Can I just get a bagel?
What kind of bagel?
Oh, I don't know. What are your options?
Bagel options are in the menu.
Plain. And then a black coffee.
Yeah, so you want to do the combo?
Is it cheaper?
I don't really know. Hold on, let me check really quickly. Yeah, it's about 50 cents cheaper if you do the combo.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, let's do the combo.
I think that's a very it's a minority. It's a very minute amount of people that of Gen Z that actually portray the same character or behavior that they're portraying in this video. This isn't common. I have first-hand experience too and witness. This ain't common.
And then a black coffee. Oh, wait. Actually, is it cheaper to do the combo?
I don't know. I would have to ring.
This ain't big enough to generalize to Gen Z. Even 50%.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can go ask. Perfect. Your total is $12.50, and you can tap as soon as you see the blue arrows. Your total is $12.50, and you can go ahead and tap.
Oh, okay. Like right now? I don't.
Not yet. It's gonna ask if you want to leave a tip. It's just gonna ask you a question.
Oh, what question?
It's on the screen.
I'll pick
The
up.
button's right on there. See that sign up there? Yep, right on there. Perfect.
Okay. And is this where I pick up my food?
No, this is where you order. So you're gonna pick it up where it says pick up order.
So how have the vibes been lately? Low key? Off. Go off, King. I just feel like life's been mad cringe lately. Like instead of taking W's, I'm taking L's. And how's your Riz? Mid. No cap? On God. It's giving depression. Dead Facts. That's facts. No printer.
This is funny though. This is funny.
I think a lot of what people are talking about when they reference Gen Z and these types of videos is not necessarily like, oh, well, Gen Z is like super awkward and they're just kind of like to themselves, because obviously you can't generalize everybody like that. But I do think that they do hit the ball on the head, and that we are a generation that has kind of been raised around curated forms of media, and we're being raised around things that very distinctly show us, oh, this is considered good. This is
And that's where the issue is. That is hitting the nail on the coffin, or whatever the phrase is, bro. That's the job of the parents. It's not the job of the internet. That's what the problem is. Now, what a majority of these kids being raised by the internet, and then the majority of these kids have the same ideals, the same values, the same priorities as what they consume, instead of from their parents. And that's where the issue lies.
Considered attractive. This is considered yes, and this is considered weird, not attractive, quirky, no. And I think because we see a lot of that, and because we can go online and we, from the click of our fingers, from the scroll of our finger, we can go and find stuff we like. We can find people we like. We can find women we admire. I think a lot of people are in the business of mimicking, and it's not weird to mimic, because even back before social media, people were doing it with their favorite celebrities. You know, like I definitely was Beyonce once or twice for Halloween. But you know what I mean? Just more of like a personality mimic. People see what they see online, and that's why it kind of seems like a lot of Gen Z talk the same way and the same like monotone level. It seems like a lot of them develop the same type of personality traits, which is kind of like the sly, awkward figure. Think it's kind of cool to super into like talking about mental health and mental awareness, very like woke in that area. But just also like, I don't know, I'm Gen Z myself, and I just also think that there's a Gen Z personality. There's just a personality of people in our generation that it's like, ugh.
It's an internet personality. It's not no Gen Z, because Gen Alpha is becoming they're gonna have it worse though, I would argue. You know, a lot of these, you know, the iPad kid shit. These kids definitely getting raised by these devices and the social media and the internet and shit. Because all the parents are concerned about is keeping the kids quiet, keeping the kids calm, and, you know, distracted, so they can so either they can chill or they can rewind, or not rewind, but wind down from work. Cause you know the parents got to work a lot more harder nowadays, a lot longer, cause you know the price is going up and shit, so they got to get more bread and shit. So domino effect, man, domino effect. But I would argue there still should be time where the parent is capable of instilling their discernment into the child, but A lot of parents get carried away and they just keep the kids distracted.
Yeah. The social media filter, not just visual, but personal. Social media isn't just a venue for photos anymore. It's a sculptor of identity. Many of us build brands, choosing what parts of our personality to display and which ones we would like to hide. According to a 2022 study, Instagram use is linked to temporary increases in neurotic traits and a stronger need to appear unique. But that unique often becomes a formula. Pastel outfits, soft girl outfits, looks, aesthetics, outfit grids.
But if you fuck with that, ain't nothing wrong with it. If you fuck with that, ain't nothing wrong with it. But it's just, if you're trying to force it, then it's not. That's not how that goes, because it's still a form of desperation. I said desperateness in one video. The word is desperation. I'm tweaking. But yeah, just be yourself. Just be yourself, and naturally you will be unique. Or you might not. But hey, as long as you're yourself, it don't really matter.
Trying to be a fashionista, but still following trends. Personality losses in dimension overall. I personally feel like Instagram, it allows more space for uniqueness in a way compared to TikTok. Now, some of y'all might disagree with that. But I just kind of feel like on Instagram, I'm actually disagreeing with that statement. I do think that you can be a little bit more unique on TikTok, yes. But no. Actually, I'm gonna go back to my original statement. I think that you could be more unique on Instagram compared to TikTok, because TikTok is run by trends. TikTok is run by popularity. It's run by what is popping right now. Like, don't y'all remember I think it was like a year or two ago, of the lady who came out with the story of how she didn't know who the man she married. And it was like a big thing. It was a big trend, and it was trending for a long time. So many things happened to that lady. She was on the news, and then it just went away. And I just kind of feel like that's the revolving door of TikTok and social media specifically, but just TikTok. Like, we're seeing a lot of trends. We're seeing a lot of things that become popping very quickly. And a lot of people try to mimic these things and try to get on the brand, get on the wave of them. And, growing up around
ain't nothing wrong with that either, because they trying to make money. They trying to get the likes, the views and shit. So ain't nothing wrong with that. That's actually one of the main tips that bigger creators give to new creators on TikTok and shit, is to follow the trends, to get your numbers up, get your views and shit up, to be able to grow your brand and shit. So ain't nothing wrong with that.
For so long, you start to wonder, like, where's the personality? Like, do you have a personality? That's really the biggest thing, is that a lot of people are mimicking what they see online, and they're mimicking what they think people will like, instead of just trying to be what they like and trying to just embody like who they are. The truth is, a lot of people just don't know who they are, and especially in Gen Z.
Yeah, I think another flaw would be, is people shouldn't chase uniqueness. People should just be themselves, bro. Because chasing uniqueness gives off the same energy as following the trend. You still chasing something. You still desperate. So just be yourself, bro.
As somebody who I've gone through my fair share of identity crises, I understand how that can go, but that's how I also know that we do struggle with having a personality, essentially, in this generation. It's not across the board, again, I just want to reemphasize that, but it is something we definitely see. Researchers have also found correlations between personality traits and social media behavior. And we always hear about something called the POTUS effect. And the POTUS effect is real. The avatar or image you present influences your behavior. That is essentially the POTUS effect. Let's say you really like Lululemon. This is just a random example. You like Lululemon, or you really like Uggs or something like that. You'll now start to wear those in a lot of your outfits and your fits and what you're posting, right? Then you start to look around and follow content of people who also like Lululemon and Uggs and things like that. So now you're getting a consistent curated For You page of the things that you like. And now you're posting similar to the things that you like, because those are the things that you're seeing, and those are the things, the content you're consuming, and that's also what you actually just like. like. Now you are stuck in this realm of presenting and trying to be the personality of what you presented. You know, I say this, I don't know if I'm explaining this the best because
I think in this scenario that she just gave, okay, let's use the UGG example, right? So you like Uggs, you see a lot of UGG content, but I don't think you would post it if all the UGG content had zero interaction, no comments, no likes, zero, nothing. You'll be discouraged from doing it because, well, it's not getting any likes, views, validation, even money. So why what's the point? You're just wasting your time. And if that's the case, if you wouldn't post that because it didn't have any interaction, then it's artificial. It's an artificial piece of your character.
I come from a background of having pictures on Instagram and then people meeting me in person and they're like, wow, like you were not what I expected you to be based off of your Instagram. And because I'll be honest, like on my Instagram, I do really have like a aesthetic I like to follow. I'm a little bit OCD, so I like, you know, posting my travel content. I like posting like my fashion fits and things like that. But then
and there's nothing wrong with liking the stuff you like to see. Like if you let me give an example. If you like emo shit, and that's a big part of your personality, a big part of your character, it's okay to interact and like and comment on and favorite and share and repost other emo content. Like, it's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's not what the point she was making, but I'm just making it be known. Let it be known.
in person, honestly, my friends just think I'm a weirdo. They're just like, girl, you are bat crazy. And I am a little bit, but like, that's me separating my two worlds. You understand? And a lot of people struggle with that. A lot of people struggle to get out from behind the curated image and the curated content that they're making. Because
it's what they grew up on. Of course, it's harder to change habits. It's hard to change habits that you grew up, curating, that you grew up formulating in the most critical years of development of your life. Those are the hardest habits to get rid of. Obviously, it's hard to stray from that.
We see this from streamers. Streamers have kind of turned on personalities. Not all of them, of course, but there are some streamers that they kind of turn it on for the camera. They turn it on for the stream so that they can make money and so that they can entertain. That's their job, right? But when you talk to them with no cameras, none of that up, they're probably going to act more like themselves. They're probably not going to act how they act on.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. They doing what they got to do to make money on the internet. There ain't nothing wrong with that. In a sense, the internet ain't real. In a sense. You can think about it like that. So it don't really matter.
Stream. But where I'm trying to get with this conversation is that we have a lot of people in our generation that acts how they think they're supposed to be acting, like AKA streamers on stream, and they just continue to be that way because they just they feel like, oh, this is my aesthetic, this is how people see me, this is how I need to just act. When in reality, no. You can just be yourself and be your own unique character so that we're not seeing
that was a good point. I ain't gonna lie. Okay. That was a good point.
A lot of this overlap in personalities. You don't just hide your weirdness. Sometimes you suppress it to maintain optimal engagement, likes, and aesthetic harmony. Yeah. And I'm not trying to say this in a way of like, oh, everybody who has a personality is inherently weird. No, they're not. And some of you might just feel like, well, how I act on social media, that is my personality.
What's weird though? What personality is weird? Who gets the authority of calling somebody's way of living, somebody's behavior weird? I mean, nobody does. Nobody has that superiority to determine whether or not somebody's weird, unless it's a collective opinion on something that's detrimental. That's the only way it can be called weird. Like somebody on that weird predatory shit, that's weird. But if it ain't harming nobody, who can call it weird? Nobody.
And that's very valid for people. But from the scope of the lack of personality and the lack of depth of personality uniqueness within Gen Z, a lot of it stems from the personality.
When it's so obvious someone is copying your whole vibe, but it doesn't even look good because they aren't being themselves, that's very unattractive. That's desperation. Desperation for validation. That's extremely unattractive. That's one of the most unattractive energies that can ever be expressed. It's desperation.
The uniqueness within Gen Z. A lot of it stems from the curated social media that we all grew up around and the idea of how we should and want to be perceived.
Am I the only person noticing that people on the internet don't seem to have their own personalities?
Yeah, we already went through all that. We basically got the whole gist of the video. Yeah, you made some good points in this video. I agree with some of this. I also offered some of my insight. Offer me some of y'all insight if y'all don't agree with me in the comments. Some of y'all just bottle it up. Be like, man, what is he talking about, bro? And y'all dislike the video and then instead of doing that, bro, just let me know in the comments what y'all think is there. I would love to hear y'all input and shit. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good shit. I'll catch y'all next video. Stay cool. Peace out. You feel me?